allowed the children. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mind. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Mayegun don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, Mayegun don't come, my people make we shout, Mayegun don't come, Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, Mayegun don't come, Mayegun diary political, Mayegun don't come, this one not the off in mind, Mayegun don't come, and in the touchlight every corner, Mayegun don't come, okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you ladder, Mayegun don't come, my people make we shout, Mayegun don't come, Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, Mayegun don't come, Mayegun diary political, Mayegun don't come, this one not day off in mind, Mayegun don't come, person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He do they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, Mayegun don't come, my people make you shout, Mayegun don't come, Mayegun don't come.
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun.
You are welcome again to Mayegun's Diary Political, the Temple of Truth. From wherever you are joining from, please share this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹ́gọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Yes. Tan 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 tan. Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kí.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kí.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kí.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. Get yourself settled. Like the broadcast. Share it. Okay? We are starting in a minute. Thank you so much. Share the broadcast as the judiciary that helped Tifnumbu and APC to complete their state capture are being rewarded. Don't pretend that you're not seeing it. Motide. So good morning to you once again, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is MaiyegunsDiary live. And thank you so much if you have actually liked the video, liked the broadcast, shared it, and even subscribed. So thank you. Now, the caption for this broadcast is that it is payback time, or should we call it reward time? You know, there's something that is, I don't know if you have thought about this, but I'm going to say it anyway, right? Because for those who are looking for the evidence of how much money the criminal politicians paid the judiciary to subvert democracy in Nigeria, to make a complete joke of their laws. I mean, in one court, some candidates, they have been disqualified and their elections been overturned because they forged certificates. On the other side, right, court is actually the one offering tipex for these criminals, okay, to perpetuate their fraud by legalizing and legitimizing it. The same law, the same 1999 constitution, the same electoral act in the same election, supposedly. So if you want to know how much money paid to these criminals to subvert democracy in Nigeria so far, you just need to trace the bank account of these criminals, the bank account of their relatives, their family members. I'm talking about their wives, their children, their staff, their friends, their girlfriends, their man friends, and all of them. You will see where the money, or how much money Tifnumbu and gang spent in buying. The same thing goes to the INEC too. If you want to know how much money INEC got from these rogues from all sides in Nigeria, it's so easy. The same templates, okay? Begin to look into all of their, all of their bank accounts, their properties, or any latest things they just properties they just bought just before or after the election. You know what I mean? You have all the criminals. Those criminals who are putting on wig inside the 70 degrees Celsius, you know. Rogues, you. May God no let you enter their hands. They are so corrupt enough that when people were saying they were the last hope of the common man, now here I sat and I said, "Una go know better soon." Indeed, today, those who were like, all eyes on judiciary, all eyes on judiciary, today, the Nigeria judiciary no worth any single penny in their eyes anymore. Sure, you know. But if you want to know that how deep that is, just follow the steps I mentioned. I listed earlier. You scratch my back, I scratch your back, Kini. You do what we want. It's not that we are going to give you money. We are also going to help your career. In the Supreme Court of Nigeria, they have 22 22 seats. Here you get of all the justices. And they are meant to come from all of the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. But there is politics in it. Don't let anybody deceive you. Okay? Throughout Bokuwari's time, as some of the judges or justices were retiring, they were supposed to be replaced. And it is not really the job of the president to nominate anybody. It's not his job. But if you have the blessing of either the governor, the president, the vice, or anybody where you shall know as a judge, they can influence your nomination. So that is that, right? But they have bodies. So if you are, for example, to become a member of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, the justice, you must be a practicing lawyer. You must possibly be a judge. Yeah, a judge. You must be a judge. And if you are an appeal court judge, that's an advantage. So 22 seats. The Supreme Court, the Chief Justice of Nigeria will announce vacancy. Under Bokuwari, the 22 seats had about 8 vacancies. But these vacancies were supposed to be filled from the southeast of Nigeria, the south of Nigeria. But because of the political permutation of that time, Bokuwari did not give any go-ahead. Therefore, Technicality did not give the go-ahead to the NJC. They have NJC. They have another body. Sure, you get that body, Gogon, is the one you are going to go and pick a form. You pick form from them and say, I want to be a justice of Supreme Court of Nigeria. So that body will now interview you. Sure, you get it. We interview the judge, do all of that, blah, 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 yeah? If you scale through, they will now forward your name to the NJC. So NJC will do their own interview too. Then NJC will now forward the name, okay, to the president. Now the president, if he's satisfied with the names and where they come from, they calculate the political consequence or benefit of that candidate and all of that. If he's satisfied, he will now forward the names. Here you get, he will forward the name to the Senate. But they say they have a tradition. There is priority list. There is, they have a reserve. Here you get, reserve is like, you know, if they say there is 8 vacancies, the NJC, they will present times 2. That is 16 candidates. The first 8 are their priority. Those are the ones who have had all of the political clearance. But for any reason, last minute, if something should happen that they should remove that person, the reserve will replace the person. I think they said it's their tradition. But I am saying all of this to you because this is what they wrote on paper. If you want to read about how does somebody become Justice of Supreme Court, this is what they wrote on paper. But that is not what the establishment practices. Under Bokuwari, in order for the candidate from the eastern Nigeria and the south of Nigeria, in order for them not to come and cause trouble in any electoral matter that Bokuwari was going to be involved in, they stopped that process for about 7 years now. However, people have been like screaming and shouting like, how can you have just about 8 or 9 justices? Like you're supposed to be 22 or you're supposed to be 21, you know, all that stuff, right? So they were supposed to be, I think, 20, and they currently have 9. So other people have retired too.
right? But during election time, it is also time for all of the roguish or rogue judges that are delivering ridiculous judgment during election time. It's also their own time to cut their teeth by getting a chance to jump the loop and go and desecrate the supposed hallowed Supreme Court of Nigeria. Politicizing it, here you get. Anyway, Ariwola, the current CJN, decided to give the green light. Maybe after Kolu felt like, yeah, don't worry. We already have some of these guys who can do the job. Especially they have done exceedingly well. Because they believe that a lot of you did all within your power to intimidate the judiciary. You know the game at the time now. How we said it was going to play out. Go to court too. It's just to further stretch you out. And at the end of the day, they are going to legitimize this based on technicalities. You did not submit your evidence. You are supposed to submit your evidence in the afternoon, but you submitted it in the morning. Technically, you have lost. You are supposed to use black biro to fill in your petition, but you use blue biro. Technically, there is nothing we can do for you. You've already lost. Technicality. And I'm happy that a lot of you have come to kind of see that today. Okay? So those who rule that, and how that got politicized, the process is what you are seeing now. It is a reward system in a crime scene. Scratch my back, I scratch yours. And Werewike is doing a very, very great job, a yeoman job for Tifnumbu. Samani, that man that said Atifku and Obi, they were just wasting their times, because even though if they have all the evidence, they shouldn't expect them, the Supreme Court of Nigeria, they shouldn't expect them, the tribunal, to be the one to help them find the evidence, because they did not file the evidence in time. What a reward to Samani is from Bauchi State. And if you take a look at the list, 22 of them have been nominated, and they are currently with the NJC. And out of the 22, they are looking for 11. 11. So, Kolu is building, it is called consolidating power. Consolidating it. Every one of them owes him. Do you understand? Every one of them, they will owe him, and they will owe him till his death. Even when it's no longer, you know what I mean? That is how you consolidate a long one. So Samani is there. There are a few others, which I'm not going to bore you with. Just look out for that. Remember this guy who was their sports minister recently under Bokwari? A clown that contributed to the ruins and destruction of Nigeria in his own small capacity as sports minister. He has this to say about the judiciary in Nigeria. He is a member of APC, I would believe.
Well, after the 2023 elections and the fireworks in the Supreme Court, of course, I am armed with the new jurisprudence of election in Nigeria, which the Supreme Court has laid to rest by reconfiguring democracy. And with that landmark judgment, election in Nigeria now means INEC. So if you want to contest election in Nigeria, You have to lobby INEC. You have to go to INEC. That's the decision of the Supreme Court. That INEC, even if they make bylaws regulating election, that they are at will to jettison it even at midnight and declare anybody, and you cannot hold them accountable. So I think politicians should learn this judgment. They should study the judgment and understood that there is a radical departure from what is called elections in Nigeria. So I'm busy trying to study it, and I have been advising those who are interested in elections to campaign in INEC offices, try to befriend Professor Mahmoud, because anything outside this, we're not going to get justice. Justice is more or less an enemy in Nigeria. And I think that explains the plethora of challenges we have, from unemployment, hunger, poverty, insecurity. All this is as a result of the absence of justice. So we talk more about peace, forgetting that the justice is the foundation of peace. Therefore, we are here to discuss how people-centered justice mechanism can be developed. And we've been brainstorming about some of the theories they brought as to how justice can be made accessible to Nigerians. But the fundamental question is, how does a poor man in Sabongida village access justice with the very expensive profile of the judicial process? How can he access it? I mean, even in the police station in my village, for you to get bail, you need not less than 5,000. And 5,000 today in a Nigerian community is big money. So how do we make justice available? Now,
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
That is how they always sound when they are no longer eating from the table. And to get back to eating from the table, they have to sound like they are on the side of the poor people. I don't want to tell you the story of that guy. Sure, you get. That is not why we are here tonight. But he's talking about, he said something sensible. He said, everybody is talking about peace. Peace, peace. But not everyone is talking about justice. Injustice is foundation of poverty. I agree. Injustice is the foundation of corruption. Injustice is foundation of everything you are witnessing in Nigeria today. Because those who are supposed to be in jail, they are the ones making laws for people to obey. So where is justice in that? And the innocent people are slammed with the ashes of a punishment. And those who ruined and looted the country continue to get the free pass. Where is that justice? And how do you then expect a peace where injustice reigns? That's the only thing I pick from what he said. Justice and the court, the affordability. Is it the court payment that they are talking about? Like to file a case in court and pay? No, he's not talking about that. Nigeria justice is for the highest bidder. And when it comes to election, he also said, let no one deceive you. Because, listen, if you want to go into election in Nigeria, just get yourself enough weapons and ammunitions and get enough money to be able to buy INEC, because they can change the rule of the game in the middle of the game. And since the Supreme Court of Nigeria says they can do that and you cannot question it, so whether you are killed and you believe that even if they show your body killed by the APC, the Supreme Court will tell you, well, you are just a collateral damage. They cannot, because of you, cancel an election, you know. That's a member of APC, saying that, like, don't let anybody deceive you.
things have gone complete south. And if you want to, it is either you accept it and get yourself so prepared every time you want to get involved in it, than to get involved and begin to scream, cheating, cheating, oh, the world, come and see, the world, come and help us, because the world will give no jack shit about you. That's a member of APC there. Nigeria is a full-blown jungle, if not worse. There is no justice. There's no justice system. There's nothing. And if you don't have enough money, you cannot get any. You would rather just die in that pain, in that anguish, and all that. In 2019, no, it started from 2018. So this video, breaking news, Governor of Kano State caught pocketing dollars that is bribe for the contracts he awarded. It is called kickbacks. It was really massive. This was not rumor. I mean, this was not like a paper stuff. It was video evidence. It was about 8 videos on 8 different occasions that this criminal was collecting money. At a point when they brought this bribe, he removed his cap, removed his babariga, and he started talking the money in his trouser, puts back the babariga, and he started talking money inside the babariga. And people reacted. How is he going to get away with this? APC, Egbekegbe governor, seen in a video collecting bribe. When they asked the Wiri, the lifeless mannequin, Bokwari, that a member of your party, that's also a member of your campaign team, a governor of a state, was caught on video collect. He said, you know what he told them? He said, I don't know the type of technology they used in recording that. And he was surprised that Ganduje was collecting the bribe himself instead of sending somebody to collect it for him. That was what Bokwari said. And a lot of people came to his defense. So, what is big deal there? Is that not what everybody does? If you collect a contract, there are, people, Nigerians, you know what I mean? Like, they love their criminals differently anyway. Then the election came. Another charade. 2019. The people of Kano rejected this criminal. They rejected him. We saw what happened. Just the same way, Bokwari was also rejected and he rigged himself back. Gandola, it got so bad that the INEC had to declare the 2019 Kano election inconclusive in order to give Gandola and his gang the opportunity to recover, regroup, and then he managed to get himself rigged back in. And they told his rival to go to court. People of Kano, who know their politics very well, sure you get, they know that Gandola is a product of Kwakwansop, that's Kwakwanso. Sure you get, Gandola used to be Kwakwansop's the deputy. Sure you get. But they said the greed of Gandola is legendary. He is a career thief. They say it was like a born kleptomaniac. Not the type that they are just like, if they come around you, things will go missing. That kind of thing. There's no amount of what they have. Once, itchy fingers have been as sticky fingers, they call them. I want klepto gidi. To the point that even those who are stealing money like him, that they are afraid of him. This Gandola. Anyway, Gandola rigged himself back. Went after Kwakwansop that he couldn't come to Kano again. If you come to Kano, they go attack you. Long story short, Kwankwaso started his own political party, NNPP. He joined a new party like Labour Party when Obi joined them. And Kano State happened to be his base. They did the election. They defeated Kwankwaso and they defeated the Gandolao. But, defeat Gandolake. They went to court. Somehow, the tribunal said Kwankwaso and his group didn't win. Today, but you know something on that tribunal part? The tribunal judges, they had to deliver the judgment via Zoom delivery, Zoom judgment. Because the people who voted the guy who is there, they besieged the court. The crowd was so much that if they had delivered the judgment, those judges may not leave that scene alive. The security tension in that state that day was so massive that the tribunal judges, they said they were scared for their lives. They had to deliver it via Zoom. Now, appeal court has delivered its own. And the appeal court has said that Gandola and his group indeed defeated Kwankwaso, but not by election. The judiciary, this same judiciary we are talking about, they said because the Kwankwaso people, the Kwankwansias, they call themselves, the Kwankwaso people, they said they joined NNPP from PDP very late. And therefore, in the face of the electoral acts, Kwankwaso people, they no get political party. So the next person that has political party is APC. The same judiciary said to Obi and Atiku that double nomination for the shitty man is a pre-election matter. Remember, nomination wahala, the issue of submitted the forged certificates and all those things that the tribunal said they were pre-election. The tribunal cannot decide on that. Pre-election. Now, pre-election matter, they will take snatch Kano from Kwankwaso now. The guy that called you obedient and Peter Obi, Andrew Liversorti. Aye. Man. Obedient. You did something this year that everywhere you are, you should always be proud of yourselves. And I mean this for real. You demystified a lot of things. I mean, before 2023, everyone believed that if you want to win election in Nigeria, you must go and prostrate for the terrorists in northern Nigeria. If they don't endorse you, you can never be anything in Nigeria. You demystified that too. And you should be proud. Someone like Atifku, as well as Kwankwaso, those are people born with born to rule mentality. Majority of them are not just average, they are totally below average. Kwankwaso, borehole engineer. Somebody went to India to go and learn how to drill borehole. Came back and he said he's an engineer, doctor, the PhD in engineering. Because he is born with born to rule mentality. He's still there as like all these obedient and all of them, they are just Andrew Liversorts. They will just rise and they will shh. Maggi China. You know those are Ajinomoto China. They always say you go take and soak your stained cloth. All those your white clothes stained. And you want to remove the stain. They act like bleach. They know they foam at all. So you understand? Now that one they talk, ashe weary, ashe kurofo completely. It was actually looking for a chance, maybe anyone, maybe if Natifku managed to push him, enter, or if Natif Numbu, he will get something. No wonder he started going Kapinandi like a Bambi Allah after Tifnumbu, because that one invited him to France, Paris. They were can't go lose guard. He lose guard. And you know, say Gandola na ogbolo gboju legidi. But even me, we're not too close to Ram. I can see him. I'll show you very soon. I think it just reminded Kolu. I don't know, like last minute. If you remember when they were calling a Kolu Presidiot electi, Kwakwansop will always be around him. Gandola, you will see him sneaking in uninvited. So the story around then was that Kwakwansop has a better advantage because Gandola lost Kano. So since Gandola lost Kano to Kwakwansop, so Kwakwansop is the new ruler. Many of the Kwakwansias in Kano, they were feeling cool too. Unfortunately, Ashe, chess don't play. They are playing chess with them. You know why I'm telling you this? No? Okay. You will soon know. Just relax. Gandola, somehow, the first general market that they go give Kwakwansop, it was during the nomination for the Ali Baba and 40 thieves. Ali Baba and 48 thieves. Tifnumbu and his ministers. Kwakwansop no get anything. Maybe a mistake. Gandola nominated 2 people. They became minister. So they started mocking him. They said, no, wait. Una never start. Wait for the tribunal. From that moment, Kwakwansop was giving his own people in Kano. Don't worry. I was with Ashiwaju yesterday. We have sorted it. Back down. The moment the tribunal dropped his bombshell that Kwakwansop's candidate didn't join the party early and therefore is not a candidate. So APC. They started shaking. First, within 24 hours, the NNPP removed their Kwakwansop from their party. They said, no, he's no longer a member of their party, suspended. Because they believed that Kwakwanso don't go make deal with Tifnumbu. Listen to this, so you know, and there's nothing, see, don't say never say never of these guys, oh. Shall you understand? So they believe that Kwakwansop has made deal to sacrifice Kano so that Tifnumbu will make him minister or something. So as a selfish man, he did not do what they should have done with the tribunal. Kwakwansop didn't support them. Some of them came out and they said, no, that's not what happened. It's all rumor. It's all okay. But he kept brewing and growing and growing. Around that time, Kwakwansop disappeared. And this Yusuf guy was left on his own. So today, the appeal court has come back to say the same thing. And they want to go to Supreme Court. Look at, first, let's see them in their courtroom earlier. Let's see if I still have that one. Yeah? And then Kwakwansop.
Alhamdulillah, whoever goes to a court like this and he was given a judgment in his favor, definitely has to be very happy. We are very happy and grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the Court of Appeal to affirm our victory And I'm so happy, but yet I am still deep in my thoughts, because I have to sit down and think very well because of the confidence and the expectation of people on us. And inshallah, we are praying very well that we are not going to fail our people.
Thank you very much. Governor-elect.
There's no doubt we have to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this very important judgment. We have to thank the Judiciary for providing good administration of justice despite all distractions that took place since the beginning of these trials. We have to thank the Judiciary. There's no doubt this is a victory for democracy. It's a victory for APC, and it's a victory for the people of Kano State. We are well aware this is an indication that democracy has come to stay in Nigeria. Democracy, we can say, is matured in Nigeria. We have to thank all those stakeholders, even the political parties, even the NNPP that took us to the appeal court. We have to thank them because they are part of the process of democracy. There's no doubt after election you get litigation, and the end result.
The more you look, the less you see.
The more you look, the less you see. When you see criminals talking, the murderers of a democratic process, when they begin to talk like that, that is the thief or Gandola. He is now the national chairman of APC, the ruling party, the ruining party of Nigeria. Somebody was supposed to jail. And the judiciary will deliver accordingly. The Supreme Court is going to deliver that. And Kano, because Kano is very important for them in their next charade, 2027. And that is the democracy you are going to have. And the justice system that you're going to have as well. So, it is up to you. Because it's all set. Yes. In the next few months, they will all take their position. And the whole unleashing will begin. Justice. How can you get justice in an unjustly forced together union? How? Is to first break that forceful union. Then you can begin to talk about justice, right? Economic austerity. Something they said that the citizens should sacrifice for while they are lavishing themselves with your money. Austerity. Aye? I'm coming. I'll first go back to that inside that court where the Kano stuff happened, and I'm going to take you somewhere quickly.
them. I mean, the people who are still going to be victims of these plutocrats.
Here's another one, by the way. I said I'm going to take you somewhere quickly, okay? But before we go to that, the government of Tifnumbu that is probing the Central Bank of Nigeria for mismanaged Central Bank of Nigeria, and then the former governor of the bank, Emefiole, who has been under arrest for the past 5 months. It was released on bail just last week. And then the EFCC brought him to court again today. And this time around, they were charging him for 1.3 billion naira procurement fraud. Central Bank of Nigeria paid for something, 1.3 billion naira. And Emefiole couldn't account for that. 1.3 billion naira. This guy, they looted over 100 trillion naira from Nigeria. Looted or mismanaged over 100 trillion naira. And they are charging him for 1.3 billion procurement, you know what I mean? Austerity. I'll play you something from Malawi.
I know that there will be some who created this mess that I'm now cleaning up, who will be the loudest in calling me names, claiming that I am the problem, and calling on citizens to attack me. But I'm not intimidated by that. I'm here to serve Malawians. And to do so, I'm prepared to do things that are painful as long as they are the right things. The most painful thing by far has been the recent devaluation of our currency to correct the false value of the kwacha based on nothing and rebuild true value in the kwacha based on production of exports. I know that this decision has caused a lot of pain, and I know that all of us now have to make big adjustments in spending so that we can prioritize those areas that are most productive and stay the course until our economy becomes productive and profitable again. In making those painful adjustments, I myself have to lead by example. This is why, effective immediately, all of my international trips between now and the end of the fiscal year, beginning with my trip to COP28 at the end of this month, are canceled. By extension, I'm putting a freeze on all public-funded international trips for all public officers at all levels, including those in parastatus, until the end of the financial year in March. In fact, all cabinet members currently abroad on public-funded trips must return to Malawi with immediate effect. Any travel deemed absolutely necessary by anyone during that period must be submitted to my office for my personal authorization. Secondly, I order that all fuel entitlements for cabinet ministers, principal secretaries, directors, and all members of senior management of public institutions should be cut in half with immediate effect. Thirdly, until further notice, I order the Secretary, the President, and Cabinet to circulate to all public institutions a criteria for local trainings and local travel that will be acceptable, as well as a cap on how much of their budgets can be spent on allowances for such trainings and trips. By doing this, I am effectively ending the practice of draining public coffers to spend on allowances for useless activities. I know that
Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is so.
And I think that's what many are going to be thinking. Reasonable leadership all over the world. What they do when their economy or their economies are in crisis is to see how to cut down waste and invest in critical, infrastructure of the country, critical sector of the economy, in order to keep jobs and keep the economy running until it kind of bounces back and everybody can begin to live their luxury life wherever it is. That is not with Nigeria. The criminals are telling Nigerians that they will need to sacrifice. But they want to be everywhere with zero return. Tifnumbu and his gang. I mean, I don't have to kind of repeat myself before you begin to, where you are right now, begin to juxtapose some few things and be like, man, why this and why that? It's easier, isn't it? And when I saw that, I saw the questions of some people were saying, what would any other person would have done in Nigeria's situation? A lot. And they start with real decisions. Anybody who sees what Nigeria is and cares for a minute tiny bit, they will not approve billions, hundreds of billions of borrowed money for car purchases, for yacht. They won't. Such money could make significant, difference in some critical sector of Nigeria economy, even if it is given up as a loan to these sectors. A reasonable person won't do that. So what would another person have done in this situation? A reasonable person won't remove subsidy. And at the same time, use the money to buy cars and build office and renovate houses. Houses for president and vice president in places where they are not going to be or be working. A reasonable person won't do that. And there are so many things a reasonable person won't do. A reasonable person won't lie to the country and tell them that they are removing subsidy, only to go behind them to start asking for loans that they will use as a subsidy for dollars for their friends. Subsidy out of petrol, but there is subsidy for dollars. You won't do. A reasonable person won't do that. But these ones are not reasonable. They don't give a damn. Now they try to think for them and hope they actually know what. No, they don't. They don't give a damn about you. Joyce Banda was in Nigeria yesterday. So was at an event, right? And so was Obi too. It was all about wrong and terrible leadership and the consequences for that, right? I'll share with you because I picked that up. Then I'm going to come back to
charade and its consequences too. You know, here.
Thank you. Thank you. Your Excellency. Your Excellency. Our dear Governor. Please, mine is just a remark. Your Excellency, our dear Governor, and my dear brother, Professor Charles Soludo. Your Excellency and our own dear mother, who have spoken so well that all we can do today is to go back and reflect on that your wonderful speech. And I thank my dear elder brother for inviting you. Mine is a simple remark which will not take more than 2-3 minutes. And it's to thank you most sincerely for the honor of coming to Nigeria for this wonderful lecture. Excellency, my contribution, my little contribution to your speech is that the problem of Africa, problem of Nigeria, rests clearly on leadership. It is bad leadership that is the problem of Africa. It has nothing to do with colonialism. We were colonized years ago. Today, it is African leaders that have turned Africa into a gigantic criminal enterprise. And I'll give you an example. Let me use this university. Let me use this university to give you an example of the problem we face in our country. This university, if you're employed here, you work hard for several years to be a professor. And if you're a professor in this university, your salary is 400,000 naira. And if they pay you without spending your money for 30 years, your salary will amount to 144 million, which is not up to what we used to buy a car for a legislator in Nigeria. That is the problem of Nigeria. That is the problem of Nigeria. That is number one. Number two, this university where you are, the overhead they give to the Vice Chancellor from federal government of Nigeria is about 10 million naira. So in 1 year, they will get about 120 million naira. They have over 500 professors, over 4,000 lecturers, over 40,000 students. They get 10 million naira, 120 million naira a year. So 5 of universities like this will get about 600 million naira annually, which if you convert to dollar today, is about 500,000 naira. That is what we use to go to a meeting of United Nations for 1 week. It's unacceptable. That is the problem of Nigeria. That is the problem of Africa. We can afford to do that with less than 10%. So it's clearly on our destiny. So I thank you for being part of this crusade. I'm sure our governor, every other person, we are part of this crusade. We must dismantle this criminality. That is the only way it can work. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you.
Please raise up your hand if you sensed any lie in what he just said. I mean, just for a moment, let's just say for a moment, whether you are obedient or you're not obedient. Did you see the way he was able to not only play with number, but give some accurate figures, data about the school where he was invited as a speaker? He knows the numbers of staff they have. He knows how much they get.
And then he put all of that together to give you a very simple analogy. Now imagine somebody who is your president, who actually sees this lacuna, this massive gap of wastage and investment. Somebody who are that smart, would that person go and sign a check and say they should go and buy cars of 48 billion? Because some of una get mental problem, una the craze, your craze no get cure. A lot of you said, this man, this strategic man, listen to him.
I don't want to sit here and reveal all my strategy. I am the first speaker among the three of us running. So they will spy on me. So you will have a limited answer here today. Another day you can bring me back. But that's part of what I do.
That's a Kurofo Pangolo. The one that cannot articulate anything. Today, you are now saying, if it is Obinko, what is he going? You know that somebody who is that sensible, who knows, who could sit down and be like, wait, 160 million naira cars. And the entire university structure in this place, they are getting 120 million naira a whole year. So a sensible person, will not do what these rogues are doing. You should at least, remind yourself of that. 600 million naira. 120 million naira for each university. Not be all of them a year. You know what I mean? Each university. So if 5 university collects 120 million naira, 10 million every month, okay? That would be 600 million naira. Now, 600 million naira with today's exchange in Nigeria is right. It's probably going to be 500,000 US dollars. That's how much Tifnumbu spent on Olosho in New York. Olosho, alcohol, drug, hotel, 420,000 US dollars. That's what they pay for hotel for 10 days. But there is no money to fund education. And today they said they have kind of reversed back that one. You know, they have increased your school fees, Abi. Now from that school fees, they are increasing. All of you that your school fees jumped from 25,000 naira to 250,000 naira. Do you know that Tifnumbu was planning to collect 40% of that money too? It is called IGR tax from the universities. As your parents are struggling to find that money, the new school fees, Tifnumbu was planning to collect 40% of that. That was why ASU said they are going to go to strike very soon. They cannot fund education, but they will tax sooner. Una go pay tax. So I heard that they have stopped that anyway. They say, okay, no, it's okay. Because the 120 million that will be mentioned, the schools are not going to get shishi anymore. You are going to be reading budget for education, but they are just money for the boys. They will tell you they are building new structure in University of Nigeria, Unsuka. They are building another theater hall, new theater hall, federal government theater hall. They are building it in Ahmadu Bello University. Oh, Obafemi Awolowo University is going to get another latest modern Senate hall. All of that are what they are going to be writing in your budget. But to fund education, to make education affordable, quality education, no, forget that. Your parents will cough every penny out. And because people scream that if you are going to tax them 40%, you said that, okay, see, I cannot fund you anymore. You need to go and find a way to support yourself. They told all the schools. Now, the schools now felt like, okay, if that is the case,
we will need to, who are we going to tax? The students now, Abi, so that we can pay our staff. We can run the schools. To do that, this is how much we are going to charge everybody for this particular course or that. People started screaming, where are we going to see it? Oh, this is too much. Oh, President Tifnubu come and help us. So as if to say, he is not the one behind it. Some of them are cursing ASU. They are cursing their schools. These useless people, very heartless. I'm not saying they are not heartless. I'm not saying they are not useless. But you forgot the fact that the rogues in charge of your governments in Nigeria, they have already unleashed them on you. Whatever blood they want to suck out of you, they are free to do so. But the guy is also asking for percentage. It's like, okay, go and take the money from anywhere you want to take the money from. Any money where you collect is going to be considered as IGR. And we go take 40%. 40%. Alpha Beta, Lagos State, Nigeria. They have a government, supposedly parody government, okay? Now, that government have ministries, like ministries. They have a ministry called the Ministry of Finance. They have agencies under ministries. Now, there is agency called LIRSC, Lagos Inland Revenue Service. Their job constitutionally is to collect taxes from the people, develop means of generating taxes, and ensuring the good utilization of such resources. I don't know if that is part of it, but their main job is to generate money. That's what they do, LIRS. But they have people hired. They have the agency. They have, they have all the staff there. They have all the senior, junior colleagues there. They are all waking up every day that they are going to work as LIRSC. But guess who is actually collecting the tax for the entire Lagos State? You guessed right. Alpha Beta. Who is the owner of the Alpha Beta? Tifnumbu. So Alpha Beta will collect all the taxes in Lagos State for Lagos State government, okay? And they will now take 30% of that money. There are people who have argued that now it's just 20%. Some said it's 10%. Some said it's 40%. It was when we now confirmed that it was actually about 30% of the Lagos State revenue that they take, right? Now then people started parrying like, even God we created that be gonna go now 10% in they take. Criminals don't think like that. And that is what you call the state capture. If you can't do it, they'll bring somebody else who is going to do it. If you can't pay it, go away. Some people will try and pay it. That is how it's going to be. So people started screaming, no, we're not going to pay that too, because if they take 40% of the money we are going to collect from you, and you are still complaining that your school fees is high, we have to high it more, because if we are only going to be able to use 60% of that, 60% is not enough. So people are saying, but are you not going to pay tax? So we should pay tax, Abi. As a government institutions and all that, Abi, we should begin to pay tax. No wahala. As long as you be able to pay the bill. So they've stopped that too. That's a long story. I mean, that should be good news. But they didn't stop it. They want all of them to calm down for a while. Then they'll go tell you later. They will say, they didn't stop it. They renegotiated it. It's not going to be 40% anymore. It is just 38%. The government has been very kind and they have removed 2% from it. You go still pay them and they go still increase your school fees again. I hope their student loan bank, they will be sort of a functional then, okay? So that you'll be able to actually go and borrow their money and give it to them. And when you give it back to them, they take 40% from it. And then you will need more. Then you go and borrow again. All my real life will go on the serve. I don't even know how that is going to be like. But here is the other part of Obi's talk there, right? Cheer.
Excellency, my contribution, my little contribution to your speech is that the problem of Africa, problem of Nigeria, rests clearly on leadership.
That's what I said. But it's more than that, too. There are many of us who also know that as much as some people will say leadership, and, you know, we believe that the start of the followership too, the voluntary slaves. Have you seen this? It is called Turn by Turn Nigeria Limited. Okay? If you follow the rogues and the criminals in their shenanigans and their criminalities, and you manage to survive long enough, there is going to be a reward for you. Like that guy is going to be a governor by being very loyal, supportive of Yeye Bello. So, you can say leadership this, which makes sense. For example, today, you could have been fighting over, let's say if Obi was your president, for example, you could be fighting over, you know, Obi's failure to sign some money or approve some certain things. Some of you are going to feel proud and you are going to feel supportive and very combatant. Others are going to be like, it's not going to last. You see the way you are looking at the economic downturn and economic ruin that Nigeria is currently going through as the final, it's like the keg of a gunpowder of Nigeria now that can explode anytime. If to say Obi is your president, yeah, right now, a lot of you would have been waiting for the rebellion of the ruling class or the, what do you call it, the elite. If he has failed to sign any of those things and rather approve money to other things that would have made a lot of you feel like, yeah, that's what we are saying. You know, maybe that would have sent some signals to some other part of Nigeria to begin to feel like, oh, things don't change in Abuja now. Abuja is not about just sharing anymore. You know, that kind of thing, right? That would have put Nigeria on a different trajectory. Not like it's going to be like bubbly. No. I mean, like, it would have been positively sort of, so this guy, you know what I mean? Like, you would have been like, I don't believe this guy if you do this, you know. Or maybe it probably would have been something else. I'm just saying. So to those who are asking themselves that, what would Obi have done? I mean, I'm just asking you to look at that. In that same Kogi state, I'm not sure. Watch this.
To speak to INEC, to commend INEC for the credible job they come to Kogi State to do. To give INEC kudos because they have not only come to Kogi, they've come to Kogi to rescue the mandate of the people. They conduct free, fair, and transparent election. And also, we want to use this opportunity to appreciate the security agency, the army, the police, the civil defense, all the security agencies who were in Kogi for a job well done, because it is a transparent election, because it was transparent, peaceful, and everybody, it is how you lie your bed, you lay on it.
In the past, we are aware of the kind of election that do happen in Kogi State. They will be characterized with violence, malpractice before now, but in the last 2 or 3 elections that happened in Kogi State, INEC has conducted, especially this November 11, 2023 election, as one of the most credible elections that's ever happened in this country. We give room for improvement, why not? But for anyone to come and rubbish a sensitive agency or institution of government like INEC because you did not win the election, it is totally out of place. We will not support such. If you contest election and you lose,
The proper thing as a responsible citizen for you to do is to go to the tribunal. You need not incite the people against INEC. You need not incite the people against the Nigerian police.
The election in Kogi State, the election in Bayelsa, the election in Imo State has met all requirements of the law and all minimum standard needed to conduct an election. Also, as you are aware, the election in Kogi State, where I come from, is one of the most freest elections.
So far they tell you about umboot slaves, obedient fools, sophisticated morons, voluntary slaves, bastards, and then people destroying people. I know waiting at the talk. For those of you who might think, those people you saw on your screen, they were APC. No, they are not. They are PDP members, young people in Kogi states. We saw where election result sheets were already filled before they even cast the first ballot. We saw the violence. It's all right. I mean, we're surprised anyway. But they were doing all of that to get back at Dino, because the Dino, their own party member, party candidate, gave them 250,000 naira per polling unit for Kogi election to buy votes. But most of the places, they didn't even bother buying votes, especially in Kogi. The results were already written. So, Dino is asking all of those who collected money from him, and they did not deliver, to return the money. Surprisingly, PDP U2 in Kogi put themselves together, held a massive rally, and they denied Dino, and they supported INEC, supported APC, and which is fine. Sure, you get. The moment all of that is done, they will all go back home. The ones who are going to look, did you see all their faces? Did you see those faces? I mean, looking at them tells me everything I needed to know. Young people whose poverty has been weaponized. Take a look at their faces again.
To speak to,
including the one that put on that purple dress, glasses, and cap. Look at their faces, and all your answers are there. I'll tell you something about it after just 20 seconds.
To speak to INEC, to commend INEC for the credible job they come to Kogi State to do. To give INEC kudos, because they have not only come to Kogi, they've come to Kogi to rescue the mandate of the people. They conduct free, fair, and transparent election. And also, we want to use this opportunity to appreciate the security agency, the army, the police, the civil defense, all the security agencies who were in Kogi for a job well done.
And they are like that. You see all those faces? Those are the faces of the political Oceans. Political jobbers. They are from the pool of over 145 million Nigerians that are living in multi-dimensional poverty. Those young men, if you begin to sort of scan them one by one, 99% of them have no real job. You understand? But save for politics, these are the anger zones that always wait for their turn. If PDP should be in power in Kogi, those are the ones who are going to say they are the young people who represent, other stuff. They have them in APC too.
So when they were talking about PDP, Labour Party, all of una make una come march together. And I was like, you see, this is what always will make me sound like a prophet all the time. Here you get. Because ideas like this makes it very easy for somebody like me to project and predict where it is going to end. These are hungry loafers that the system is breeding. They are in their millions. As you have them in northern Nigeria, you have them in southern Nigeria. As you have them in the west, you have them in the east. You have them in, you have them in the central. You have them everywhere. And they are the willing tools. If the assignment is to have them cause or wreak havoc, just give them money. They will do all of that. Even though Dino enters studio, they scream. Those ones don't need to. You can see on their faces. I mean, watch this.
When I ran for the Senate for the first time, I won with about 90-something thousand votes from the West Senatorial Districts. When I ran the second time, I won with 60-something thousand votes in the West Senatorial Districts. Then you are now saying in the entire states, I won with 46,000 votes. I mean, INEC is oozing. INEC is a shame. And we have children. They forget that there's a God factor in the affairs of men. We will make sure Mahmoud Yakubu and his co-travelers suffer and they get the reaction of Nigerians on this. We will use every legitimate means.
Well, to be fair,
every legitimate means.
To be fair to what you're saying, yes. And we obviously don't take any sides. I mean, until there is a clear, demonstrable court-related evidence. I understand that.
Documents don't
but
lie.
Obviously, these things have
Documents
to be verified in a court of law.
You can go to INEC portals and speak with you.
What I'm trying to say is that what you're saying tallies with what the situation room, the civil society situation room that objectively monitors elections,
because the truth has no volume.
Has been saying.
You can't reduce it, you can't increase it.
But I can't comment on that because obviously that would have to be. But surely this is a classic issue for the new government of Bola Tinubu.
My brother, before now, I've seen different style of rigging. I've seen digital.
Well, you must have. I mean, you're a politician, so you're just as you're equally guilty, aren't you?
I've seen digital rigging. I've seen snatching of ballot papers. I've seen inflation of results.
Have you taken part in any of them?
I've never in my life seen this pattern that was used in Kogi State. It's legendary.
Yeah, but have you taken part? Have you taken?
Institutional.
Yeah, this one obviously, if it in fact it is the case, I mean, was so. You seem surprised.
Surprisingly done. I never imagined that it could be done.
But what I'm wondering is that have you done any measure of what you're talking about? You say you've seen ballot boxes snatched because I mean it's a matter of who outrigs the other person.
I'm saying in the past. I'm saying that comparative analysis with the past. I've seen different types of rigging.
Right.
But this brazen daylight robbery, I've never seen it before. And INEC demonstrated that they are co-travelers with APC in this business. The speed with which they accepted all the concocted results, all the handwritten, results written even before accreditation, with all the mutilations I have shown you, reducing votes of PDP openly and increasing that of APC, and people voting above accreditation, people even voting above, results of votes shown is more than PVC collected. I've never seen this type before. And it is appalling, and we know that the God Almighty that we serve will punish Mahmoud Yakubu. He will not go free. We are going to organize protests anywhere we see him. We are writing letters to all international communities, all embassies. Everybody must know that he is a fraud. INEC is a fraud, and we will not allow it.
Canary Dino. You could tell Abi. That one enter. He enter and well. The way he demonstrated, even though he's an actor, the way he demonstrated, I
felt the pain, the genuinity of what kind of rigging is this? Even all of us, we have been in this business for a while. Like, I mean, I've never seen anything like. Baba, you go see things. Oh, sure. Democracy is gone. You probably never had it. It's been sort of a, fluke, fraud. A lot of us are just coming to realize it, I think. If they have, or if they bring in external auditor or auditors to come and audit the Nigeria's book, and they are allowed to make public their discovery, I would sort of believe that solar eclipse will happen in Nigeria in the lives of the rogues in charge of Nigeria. If they allow that, but it's probably just my imagination. Because there are people who will tell you today that, Baba, nothing they shock us again. Say, yeah, Baba, did you hear what happened? What happened? Man, they said that, can you believe that? Oh, Baba, I thought you wanted to tell me something. That one no shock you. Say, Baba, you know they say I be from Nigeria. Nothing they shock us anymore. You know that kind of thing. If I'm not using my imagination too much. You know why did I say that? If I have to sit and just imagine the wastage that were made public right before our very eyes under this APC, Egbekegbe, Bokuwari, I just imagine the orders that are not made public, especially the NNPC. So when they started with Emefiole, we were like, okay. Well, not me. I think some of you felt like, or maybe I'm just trying to make that up then. Don't let us go there, because I didn't see much of people who were surprised. I saw many people who felt like, he deserves it. But for those who are really interested, like, is his arrest, was his arrest about trying to bring to book those who committed economic treason against Nigeria, destroyed lives, destroyed businesses? Is that going to be a thing? I was like, no. You can't expect a criminal to fight a criminal. It is expeditical. It is just for show off. I actually said that this was going to be DASUKIGATE 2, but it's going to be a Emefiole gate. Instead of DASUKIGATE, it's going to be Emefiole gate. Just media trial, media noise, and the rest of that, but nothing substantial, nothing concrete, nothing meaningful is going to come out of it. It's going to be drama after drama for years until everyone forgets about it. If I ask you, how do you feel about Dasuki today? Because I still very much remember, and I'm going to remind you, even if you have become a repentant bat idiot, what do you call it, a Buharidin or Buhari idiot, I'm still going to remind you what it felt like for you when Bokwari announced that they have arrested Dasuki, and in fact, the money meant for fighting the Boko Haram, $2.1 billion US dollars, was what Dasuki shared to PDP stalwarts for Jolantan's 2015 second term election. And a lot of you, the rage, the anger in you, the causes, oh, thank God that APC, the change you voted for, they are going to clean the place of all of the people like Dasuki. How could they even sleep at night? Our soldiers are sleeping in the bush. They did not get paid. Dasuki and Jonathan, they were spending the money. They were throwing parties. Do you know the anger? Do you remember the anger you felt when you probably, bought the lie that the money meant for the fight against Boko Haram was what Dasuki shared? So many of you even sentenced Dasuki based on your own discovery from the APC, Egbekegbe's lies. Have you forgotten how you felt? How could they do that? Chibok girls, Nigerian soldiers, the people did this, Boko Haram have killed. Man, they were supposed to kill this Dasuki. They were supposed to kill all these people. You remember? Then gradually you started realizing that it was a complete joke. In fact, everything you thought you saw, the terrorism you thought you saw under Jolantan, they were practically child's play to the terrorism they now told you to endure under the APC. Egbe. Then you started forgetting about Dasuki. Abi? And to this day, a lot of you are not even asking, where is Dasuki again? So what happened to that Dasuki guy again? Nothing. So when this of Emefiole started, we know the thieves. We know where they were. We know what they did. But none of them is in jail with him. At first, they said they were charging him for possession of Chakabula. Then gun. Plywood gun. They were charging the Central Bank Governor of Nigeria for possessing a plywood gun. So when that didn't fly, after 4 months in jail, no trial, no nothing, the DSS handed him over to EFCC. Now, EFCC is charging him for procurement fraud. They spent 1.3 billion naira on something. And Emefiole could not account for it. So that is what they are charging him for now. In that same place where Shadia, the woman they opened a new shop for, the one inherited by Betty, Abibeta Edu today, Humanitarian Ministry, where they were sharing billions of money in seconds without a trace. Have you seen where people shared 500 billion naira to 11 million people in 2 days by cash? They did it. How did you do that? Where is the register? Oh, we share the money by hands because majority of the beneficiaries are in areas where there is no internet, there is no banking, and because they don't have bank accounts, so we share the money for all of them for straight 4 years, ladies and gentlemen. 500 billion, 500 billion, 500 billion, 500 billion. Shadia is cruising somewhere. Another criminal, Adisirika. These are the people that Emefiole paid. All this money I'm mentioning right now, they came from Emefiole, the Central Bank of Nigeria. After the president of Nigeria have signed them out, I said, okay, yeah, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. The person that signed all the money out has become an effigy, like a museum, in a shrine or a shrine, an effigy inside a shrine, somewhere in Daura, that they are still going there to go and see somebody who is supposed to Kuje. So Emefiole, I'm talking about the Sirika here anyway, another criminal. This guy scammed the whole country. 200 million people. Baba is walking free. 87 billion naira was the total money that Adisirika spent in flying a dog. A dog, sort of a dog drawing calf. Something that never flies anyway. You get? called Nigeria Air. This guy spent so much money off Nigeria. He did the air show, attended the air show abroad, telling people that Nigeria is going to have an airline. A lot of this Lagos Abobaku of today, I'll tell you why. Even if I want to pray for some of you who are Lagos Abobakus, the Buhari Deans, the Buhari Diderins, the Buhari Dinotus, Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus, the Ngozi Aris, Nneka Aris, and all of una like that. Even if my mind, if I won't pray for una, I swear to God, Eledami cannot let me pray for you. Ekpe, on loro yin gba every day. Ekpe, lo ye come fun yin. Anybody who just remember, if your mind just go to APC, just say it in your mind that it no go better for them. Just say it. Don't worry. Doesn't matter. Just say it in your mind. You know why? When we saw through the scam at the time, majority of them, they were calling for Mayegun's arrest. They saw me as enemy who didn't wish Nigeria well. And I was only asking simple questions. I said, you went to Bahrain to design a logo that a primary five school children would design in Nigeria for you. You went to Bahrain to pay $450,000 to design a logo. And we later heard that before the logo even came out, it has already cost Nigeria over 18 billion naira. Like for what? Then we started asking questions. If you are going to start airline for a country, maybe you will first at least, let's see where you have done the recruitment for those who are going to work. Let us see information page. Let's see. I mean, you should have an office for people who want to make inquiries, Abi, so that they make inquiries like, okay, I want to work for you. I want to, that stuff, Abi. There was no office. There was no website, no email, no phone number, no member of staff, and nobody to really contact. When you search for Nigeria Air, what you are going to get are news articles where Adisirika was telling people that Nigeria Air is coming. In fact, he said from the project of Nigeria Air, Nigeria will start manufacturing aircraft by 2024. Baba, we only have just about 50 days, before we get to 2024. Less than 50 days to 2024 right now. Adisirika spent over 87 billion naira. He got to a stage, he went to Ethiopia, and he told the Ethiopia airline, see, I need your support. As the Minister of Government of Nigeria, he made them a deal. And what was that deal? Would you mind printing this logo on your aircraft for us? We'll pay you. It's just to fly to Nigeria, take some pictures and media coverage and all that, and then you can go back and remove the logo. Ethiopia Air call back one of their aircraft. I mean, if they have to use the aircraft to fly people, at least a trip of a flight won't give them straight $100,000. Adisirika gave them substantial amount of money. It's like hiring a whole plane, a whole 737, a B747, a B 757 Boeing, biggest passenger aircraft, and then you put a logo on you printed a sticker of your logo that you designed in Bahrain, and you flew that into Nigeria, Baba, and they said finally Nigeria here has arrived. I was only asking questions. If you want me to believe that you are doing something, Don't tell me alone. Show me. Eh? And they said Nigeria will be great in our lifetime. All of you, enemy of Nigeria, will be put to shame. I can't wait for Nigeria here. May Buhari succeed in Jesus' name. There were actually those lunatics on social media who usually wake up every morning and they will just type it on social media. May Buhari succeed. And then you see all of their fellow lunatics. They will be coming under the, they will come under the same illusion, and they will be typing amen, amen. And God will shame all the enemies of Buhari. Who are the enemies of Buhari? Buhari's ministers that is scamming you. And Buhari is giving his approval for that. And you are so stupid enough to think your wishes is what will make Nigeria air fly. You ignore the obvious. And then you are waiting at the airport for the aircraft. The guy is walking about. I mean, this was a guy that spent 22 billion naira on buying equipment for Nigerian airports. Baba, 14 billion of that money is to buy 14 firefighting trucks. Baba, kilo day now. Eh? Nigeria, a crime scene. The guy was there. I'm going to show you that video. He was displaying the firefighting machine he bought 26th of May, just a day before they left. He's a cool multi-billionaire. And when they steal money like this, what most of them are doing now, they are no longer just going to buy properties abroad. When you look at these northern thieves, most of those who destroyed Nigeria with Boko Haram, majority of them are now, you know what they are doing? They are now buying aircraft and they are opening airlines. And you'll be asking, where did this one see money to open airline? Do you know how much one single aircraft cost? Majority of them will buy like about 5, 6, 10 from the stolen money, and they will start an airline company in Nigeria. Look at this guy. At the time, so if you spend 14 billion naira to get 14 firefighting truck, right? That means each truck cost 1 billion naira. At the time when they said they bought that, the exchange rate was 450 naira to a dollar, not what it is today, 450. So that simply means each firefighting truck that he bought cost $2 million or $2.1 million each. Take a look at this video again and tell me if that looked like a $2.1 million truck, firefighting truck. Be honest though. Now look at that front. It's one of them is in front and is being driven in one, okay? So I want you to take a look at the one in front and tell me $2.1 million truck. Did you see that? I could give you names, many of them, that are supposed to be sharing the same prison or cell with Emefiole. But like I said, it is just DASUKIGATE Part 2. I have no pity for him. You should not have any for him too. Okay? But the deceit, and for those of you who might think he deserves it, no, I'm not saying he doesn't. But 1.3 billion naira procurement fraud, when Nigeria lost over 300 billion US dollars in revenue to thieves, where they printed 27 trillion naira cash. and there is no money left in their treasury? I mean, come on. You should have more people right there, because what they did was called I mean, how could 1.3 billion naira of Emefiole be the reason why Nigeria is bankrupt? How? It was in court. I'll show you anyway. It was there today. Oh.
No. It's clear. It's clear. It's clear. It's very clear. Don't do anything. No.
And the court judge, the judiciary in Nigeria, said they should take him to Kuje prison. I support that, but I mean, that Kuje prison should have at least more than 80 people who are sharing the maximum security prison there. And that is when you will know that maybe there is actually hope for Nigeria. They're supposed to put Pastor Ruga, that fake Pastor Ruga, they go put them for cell block B. They will put Bokwari, Mumadu Bokwari, they will put him in cell block A. All right? And once they start bringing all the crooks that help them do this, right? So once they put one in A, they put another one in B. So they will share the same cell block together. And you can hand their judgment to them in that place. People who lost their lives. The country that lost years of progress to these cankerworms. You can hand them their life imprisonment in that place, and they can all die in that prison without any life of parole. Die there. It doesn't matter your age. There. If they die, you take them to the prisoner's graveyard. Something you said, like, you know what I mean? I mean, like I said, make imagination no kill me. So I'm not asking you to feel sorry for Emefiole. I'm just asking you to see through the drama. Because the effort is actually not to help you. Some said it's a scapegoat. Scapegoat, you. On his way to Kuje.
No.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I mean, there should be more people. A lot of them. But those ones are at home now. Some of them are also in government right now as ministers and all that. I mean, come on. So the joke is purely on everyone. I'm going to share this with you so that you can possibly just digest what corruption does and forceful marriage does to people who are not really meant to be together. Here is one reason.
7 feet. You can see it now. We are here since yesterday. You know, say our organ they believe person, you know they trust person. Unless you do like this, send that for her. Our own feet believe if it's Sam. Ingo no say true, but Ingo they tell you say what you they talking no understand that. Just look at why human being carry motor to the pass. So now be this so. My caterpillar is supposed to pass this kind of place. But see now human being motor. Sir. Look at how many feet here? This is about 8 feet. This place reach 8 feet or 10 feet. 10 feet. No, at least make it not be like say I lie. You don't almost finish this tank out. Oh, now help us, you. The sufferness will drive as a supper. Today is 7 days. We are here.
This is Enugu Suka Expressway. Huh? About federal government in here. Now we they kill ourselves so. That's the Siamo. This one a trailer we carry cement 9 days there so. Before they transload that 9 days they load so now. Siamo. See the depth of this place. Don't chop one trailer complete. So you can see. Now trailer there inside pit like this so. Look at the depth of this road. This is the depth of this road.
The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not. Because of fuel,
there is none. How do you expect to live long? As somebody who works as a mobile person, your business is always mobile. You have to always be kind of, you know what I mean? How do you live long in an environment like that? And that is just even a tiny bit of every other danger that corruption and bad leadership are sort of forced on us, or we forced on ourselves. I was going to take calls tonight, but I won't, because tomorrow I want to prepare you for tomorrow's program, okay? So the highlight of our program tomorrow is going to be about black tax. Recently, there's this convo online, and it has to do with all of the successful black people, especially Africans who are living in the West. All of us who have left our family, who left our families back in our different countries in Africa. And in the course of our sojourn, a lot of us are supposed to have met success and successes. But there is something called black tax. Black tax. A lot of people actually don't see anything or didn't know much about it. They didn't see anything wrong because they didn't know much about it. But the conversation around it today, or from yesterday, are beginning to sort of sink in that a lot of us have lost successes due to black tax. What is black tax? Black tax is these taxes and responsibilities that we kind of take or carries the moment we begin to make money. Yes, emphasis on money. So when we begin to see ourselves as the person who is responsible for a lot of people within our family, paying bills and taking care of this, setting business up for the siblings, trying to build projects back in your home country, and a lot of people who have become completely bankrupt or have their successes stunted for the benefit of their family members back in Nigeria or other part of Africa. Examples like footballers. See, you can start from there. When you see entertainers, footballers, and this is not even like, black tax is not even limited to those who are not back in Africa. even if you are, for those who are in Nigeria, because most of this black tax mentality followed us from where we come from. We believe that when one member of the family is sort of rich, it is his and our responsibility to what? To invest in those in his family and lift them out of poverty too. Is that making sense yet? Yeah, like we see that as a responsibility, and at the end of the day, a lot of us have gone into indebtedness simply because we wanted to invest in brothers, invest in sisters, pay the school fees, pay the hospital bills, pay all these bills. That to the point that some of us we have lost track of how much or when last we actually pay taxes on our earnings, because before you make the money, they are already waiting to take them from you. So tomorrow, we are going to have that as part of the highlight of our program. So it is going to be an open mic, okay, where I want you, from your own experience, what and how has black tax affected you and your own dream in your life. It doesn't matter where you are living. And let me give you another example. We've had people, especially here in the UK, okay, who have had to go and take loans because, one, they believe that the only way they could help their family members is asking them, what would you like to do? I don't want to be giving you money. What would you like to do? Let me set you up for business. And then you give the money. And then within a year or two, the business is gone. And they are back, expecting you to still foot their bills and all of that stuff. I'm not saying that those of you who are doing your bit and all that, because I do it too. Sure you get. But it is beginning to kind of come together. Because from the researches and all that, they've discovered that more than 80% of those who benefit from this black tax, from many of us, including those of you who are in Nigeria, you know, those you have had to cough out a lot of money that you didn't have. A lot of you have had to cough out some of your resources from your businesses, from your salaries, from your earnings. You've coughed out a lot of money, thinking you are using that to set up somebody so that they can stop asking you for money. But even after that, they still came back. I was still coming back to ask you for money. Even when you yourself have never really sat down to put resources together and say, I want to do this kind of, yeah? That is called the black tax. These are taxes that we call responsibility because of where we are coming from, because of our experiences as black people who have experienced war, who have experienced poverty, who have experienced famine, who have experienced terrible leadership, and we have seen our family members. We have grown through a lot, and the moment we begin to kind of see money, we believe that it is our responsibility. And a lot of people actually appreciate us for that. But at the end of the day, all of that money will be gone at some point. That's where I'm actually going. Those who are the victims, all of them, we be saying, we want you to come and share your experience with us. How did you manage to recover from it? How did you manage your own black tax? And how did you get yourself back on track, or did you never get yourself back on track? Was it too late before you realized that all of the effort that you are thinking of those closer and all? I'm not asking you not to help people. Don't get me wrong. The point is this: the more money you have to spare, the more money you have, will determine how much money you have to spare. Nigerians, which is where I come from, we are naturally entitled people. Okay? So the moment you begin to sort of show that you have some money, you have members of your family that are going to begin to rate you.
When I say rate you, you see the way they rate Elon Musk, rate Warren Buffett, rate all these guys, rich guys. They'll begin to rate you. If you buy a new car, that means you are doing so well. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad though. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's bad though. But we are saying how much of this has come back to bite you, one, simply because as much as you tried to think you could, you could take your families out of poverty or whatever it is that you're trying to take them out of from, it all comes back to them asking for more until you have nothing to give anymore. And the moment you have nothing to give anymore, you see everything you thought you've given, they will all come back to nothing. The same family that you thought you wanted to lift out of poverty, or friends, or this or that, they will fall back into it, and all of your investments will be gone. And they say people are not talking much about it. They say there are people who are currently depressed. There are people who recovered from depression, of the disappointment of how far they have to go in their mind of trying to save their family or save people in Nigeria, kind of. Here you get. So you've seen artists that you've seen them, sometimes they are so rich, or they appear to. Then suddenly they have nothing. Then you've seen footballers who made so much money. Then suddenly they have nothing. And then when you ask, they will say, well, majority of the money is spent on trying to lift family. The more you have, you know what I mean? So the reason why some people are discussing this is that a lot of us who are under this black tax, that didn't see it as anything, and that it is actually impacting our own lives, slowing it down a bit. Where you are really supposed to be or concentrate on, right? We have shared them, thinking we could save people like that, okay? So they say some of those who actually come back, when you look at your colleagues, for example, of a different, different sort of a race, let's say they are, for example, white, and you realize that some of us are making better money than some of our colleagues. But we just realize that they almost have everything, all planned, mortgage, family, shares, investment, and even from that money that you think is not much, they could take their families on holidays, vacations and all that, being able to plan their life within that little. But you see yourself, you make so much. Then you start asking yourself, like, what am I actually doing with my money? Because you are a black man. There is something inside that our medulla oblongata, that says that, you know what? The moment you make money, that money is not your own. It is for your family. How many of you have that thought? Some will even tell you boldly. And that has given a lot of them that much entitlement, sense of entitlement. My brother, you see, God bless you so that you can bless others in your family. Yeah, that's true. Just tell God to keep blessing you. Black tax, they are not rewarding. They are always disappointing. And there are people who have been destroyed by it. And I think it's time for us to start asking them to speak out. And you can now offer them advice. So what should people now do? What should you do with your money? Should you not give your... No, I'm not saying you shouldn't support people. You have that idea when they say, how much money do you really make? Oh, I make $100. $100, right? How much is your total bill per like all your bills? $35. So you still have 65. Do you have savings at all? Yeah, I do have savings, about $10. Do you have any other investment like you do or not? No, really. So what do you do with the remaining $55? Well, I mean, I just give it away, just like that. To who? Well, so now you can easily just sit down and be like, plan your life. Families and everybody will live and they will survive on their own. So the moment you have $100, if you have $5, if that $5 is all that you have, make it, spend it wisely for those you want to give that to. Don't cut your neck, don't cut your arm, and don't try. Don't even imagine that you can take anybody out of poverty. You know why we feel like we are taking our people out of poverty? Sometimes we didn't know that we are actually indirectly encouraging the poverty. We are tolerating them. And that is why we believe that a lot of us who are kind of subsidizing the failure of Nigeria government, somehow we are not really helping. Let me tell you something. In my own mind, my immediate family in Nigeria, they are not really they are not feeling whatever is going on in Nigeria the way everyone else is. And that is that sense of fulfillment that the dopamine in my brain is given to me to make me feel satisfied that, yeah, I'm a fulfilled person. Even though they are still living in a place where their health care is not guaranteed, their safety is not guaranteed, the standard of what is currently around them is average. Sure, you get. And we still have to provide everything all by ourselves. And nobody is responsible for their anything except, except ourselves. But the fact that I have money, I could purchase those things, I could get this, I could get that, right? That gives me the sense of, you know what I mean? Satisfaction that my family is out of poverty. No, they are not. No, they are not. And they themselves too. As long as I am able to always say, take, we need clean water now. How much is clean water? 200 pounds. Oh, 200. That's a lot. Okay, take. Now, for those who can't have access, let's say that's too much. 20 pounds. Clean water, 20 pounds. And I'm like, okay, take 20 pounds, go and buy clean water. Go and buy clean water. So my family will drink clean water because they can afford 20 pounds. And then 100 families who don't have that 20 pounds will have to just drink whatever is available to them. Sure, you get that thing, right? So I am buying them. I am buying them time. To all of you now, we get money. We say, your mama, your papa, and especially hospitals that they go. You have built lovely houses for them. Highly fenced. Abi, you are funding all of that. You know that. So they have lights because you have this standby generator. Yeah. Nigeria may be bad or bad. Your mama, your papa, they drive latest car. Because they suffered on you now. Black tax. No, Mayegun, don't go there. No. My mama and my papa no be black tax. Papa, it is also black tax. I'm not saying it's wrong. Don't get me wrong. Here you get. What we are trying to get at here is this. Because you are able to provide, to you are indeed taking your family out of poverty. Now you will be saying you get mentality of giving this, giving that. You get a mentality of building a house and doing that as well to make everybody comfortable. So one day, if you can no longer fund that lifestyle, do you get what I mean? If you can no longer fund that lifestyle, and gradually, they would have to begin to adjust back to the life that everyone else lives in that place. By the time you are no longer able to do it anymore, they will just notice that you are no longer responding. But yourself, your life, it may be your health, it may be anything else. Even on your sick bed, they are going to be reminding you that they have not ate for 2 days. You know they do like this now. What happened? Egbon, what happened now? We have been trying to call you since last week. And if you now say, bro, man, I have been very, very sick. I have been unwell. I've been in the hospital for the past 2 months. I've been in and out. I just didn't tell all of you because I still continue to send you money. Sure, you get, but see, that is the moment you begin to realize what I'm saying to you right now, that even on your sick bed,
they will still say, sorry, we are praying for you. They will still remind you. But the car is not working anymore. And we need to go and pay so and so. And I mean, we don't know who to call. You are the only person that we normally call on your sick bed. Now, let's say that is it. You're unable to really fulfill that anymore. They are going to survive. They are going to live. They're not going to die. You see, where you are worried that, she make my family can't go, they sleep on this, come become homeless. How can I hear that my family is hungry and I'll be happy where I am? Listen to me. They are always going to be happy wherever they are. That mentality of you thinking for them is called black tax. And the reason why I want everyone to share theirs tomorrow is that you'll be surprised when people start sharing theirs. Is to tell me and tell all of us, how far did you go in trying to lift the people either back in Nigeria or even you that is watching me in Nigeria? Because there are so many of you like that too. Like I said, we learned all this from Nigeria before we left. Yes. To be the breadwinner, to be this, to that, and all of that stuff. So there are those of you who are doing the same thing. They are called black tax. And they are also the reasons why people are unable to really fight the criminals that are destroying Nigeria. Because of all of our black taxes. I still do it too. I'm guilty. I agree that I am guilty. I'm still one of those who send substantial amount of money to Nigeria every month. I'm still one of them. And this money are not being sent to my mother or to my father. Yes, I've got a young family there too. But they are mostly to family members, friends, and people I know. Who wants to pay school fees, who want to pay hospital bills, who want to pay house rent, who want money for feeding, who want money for this, who want money for that. So for my own part, let's say I have at least 15 people, okay, that actually regularly relies on me and my monthly messages inside Nigeria. No matter how little or how big, about 15 people, can always be more. On a very, very, very steady. So I do it. I agree. I do it. And if you look at all yourselves too, and those you are also putting on welfare subsidy from wherever you are, even those of you who are watching me from Nigeria, the people you also put on subsidy, people you subsidize. You are the reasons why. I am also the reason why majority of them will never be so angry to go after the criminals in charge of Nigeria. Think about that. If me gets 15, I know some of you here who have more than 20 people that depends on you. There are some of you here who have 10. There are those who have 5. But I mean, I can say that 90% of those of you who are watching this broadcast have 1, 2, 3, 4 people that actually taxes you every month. And to you, you are doing the Lord's work. I'm not saying you are not. I'm just trying to tell you, the effects of of our actions. So tomorrow when we talk and we have our open mic, I hope you are going to be willing to share. It's not going to be people's parliament. You don't need to bring your faces. You just come on and tell us. What do you think? How much of effect of black taxes have you tried to recover from. And how did you do it? If you are still doing it right now, we are encouraging you to cut it down. Cut it down, because when you finally have nothing to give, you see, those people are going to survive. I promise you, with or without you. I heard people who have spent tens of millions of naira on their own brothers, and everything gone within a year. You can say, his brother opened a business for him, more than 50 million naira. Everything is gone within a year. But what happened to that brother? How did you handle it? How many of you actually have to take loans? How many of us had to break our savings, hoping that this is it? If I manage to do this, I believe that that is my brother made for life. I'm not saying some of you didn't do it successfully. There are many of you who are so proud of what you did. Some of you didn't even give this amount of money. You just move your brother or your sister from one place to another, and that's how their life changed. I want to hear from those of you, because you are in the majority. We are in the majority. Those of us who have stunted our own personal growth because we believe that we are trying to lift our other people out of poverty that way. And then we watch, because our family people self, they contribute to the sustenance of all these criminals. Don't forget that too. You know, by their actions and inactions. So we'll share that tomorrow, among other things that may pop up as well. Okay, so thank you so much for your time this evening. And if you are still very much there, you can like this broadcast, share it, and join me next time. Okay, so from here, good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Bó bá ṣe é, àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Mayegun Diary, Diary Politico.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ba bá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ayé Súrákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa bí.
Ayé Súrákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin òwò.
Máyégún máa bí.
Ayé Súrákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa bí.
Ayé Súrákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súrákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ayé Súrákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súrákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súrákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súrákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súrákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súrákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súrákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súrákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súrákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súrákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súrákì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súrákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súrákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.